It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes.
All right, so our guest has called in. I'm just going to read a quick bio on her. So this is Julie Tambaga. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. From Orexco 1031 Exchange Company. She's the Vice President, Regional Manager. She has 15 years of experience in the real estate industry. A real basic one here for you. What is a 1031 exchange?
Well, good question. The 1031 exchange is a tax code, and it allows investors to defer paying their capital gains tax. So when you do an exchange, you're deferring paying capital gains tax, depreciation, recapture. It's almost like a free government loan. The money that you would ordinarily pay taxes on, you can use that money to diversify and leverage your portfolio.
So you're pushing that event of paying taxes, you're pushing it forward into the future.
Yes.
Instead of paying Uncle
Sam. It'd be nice to get away from it forever.
Yes.
There's a few ways to minimize that in the end, but for now, it would be deferring paying capital gains tax.
Yes, so a 1031 exchange, it's like beauty cream. You know, you're going to be able to get rid of those wrinkles for a little bit, but eventually they're going to come back and we're all going to die. So it's just like the taxes on the real estate.
Well, yeah, but again, there's ways to minimize some of that.
Yes.
All right, so what are the benefits of a 1031 exchange?
Well, the benefit really is not having to pay your capital gains tax when you sell and invest the property and you have gain.
Now, you also don't have to, you can defer the HARPTA, too, we just learned.
It exempted this seller from the HARPTA tax because they were doing a 1031.
If you have a seller who's a non-resident of Hawaii, selling property in Hawaii, if they do a 1031 exchange, they're exempt from paying that 5% withholding.
Which is important.
Yes.
Some people do an exchange just for that reason, because they don't want to pay that.
Oh, really?
Yes, because it's a big chunk that shows up on the settlement statement that's going to be paid to the state. Although it's just a withholding, and the seller would get back what he's entitled to because you're only supposed to pay up to the extent of your gain. They still don't like the idea of the state taking 5% of the sales price off the top of the net proceeds. Yeah,
plus there's opportunity costs, right? You know, if it's $500,000 sale, what is that? Is that $25,000? You can be doing something else with that money, right?
Exactly. Why not put it into another investment property and get some income, to pay for your children's education or your parents', health care.
All right, so we're on number 3 of 49 questions we have for you today.
49, okay.
All right, what types of properties will qualify for a 1031 exchange?
That's a great question. There's a term that's used. It's called like kind. And when you're doing an exchange, you need to be selling and purchasing like kind property. And that, for real estate, is real property. Any combination of real property would qualify for an exchange. So you have single-family home, condo, vacant land, commercial building, industrial building, leasehold property with more than 30 years remaining on the lease. Any combination of real property you can do an exchange with. I think a lot of times the term like kind gets misinterpreted, and people are under the impression that it has to be sell a condo, buy a condo, sell a single family, buy a single family. And that's not true. It's any combination of real property.
So it's more like monopoly.
So could you sell a property and then purchase 2?
Absolutely.
Or
People
3?
do it all the time.
Yeah.
People do it all the time. That's why you'd want to diversify or leverage your portfolio. So you might have somebody who has a commercial building, he wants to sell it, and maybe do some estate planning and buy 4 or 5 single-family homes or 4 or 5 condos that they can rent out, and then their kids can inherit later on at a stepped-up basis. So you can sell 10 and buy 1. You can sell 1 and buy 10.
So it's like monopoly, right? You can get two greenhouses, and you can exchange for 1 red apartment building.
That's a good visual.
Yeah, I'm a visual person. The other thing I was going to mention something else, but it just flew out of my head. So we need to go to the next question.
All right.
Okay.
So can this be done with personal property or businesses? And if so, could you give us some examples of that?
Oh, wait, hold on, Julie. Now I remember. I'm Mr. Short-Term Memory. You said like-kind, and we're talking about examples of what like-kind is. Give me, and so that's great. What's an example of what would not be a like-kind exchange?
You can't sell an investment condo and buy a boat.
Okay.
Oh.
A boat is personal property.
What about the kind property? That's here in Hawaii.
Or what about if you were to sell an investment property and you wanted to
buy residential,
like a owner-occupant property? That would not be allowed.
That would not qualify because it needs to be investment property for investment property.
Gotcha.
Or, okay, I have another one.
There's nothing out there that defines how long you have to hold it for investment either.
Oh, okay.
But if you were ever to be audited, you would want to be able to show your intent. Did you intend to hold it for investment or for productive use in a business or trade? That's the textbook definition, and prove it. So rental income is the best proof.
Okay.
The longer you rent it, the better your story is.
Okay. So, all right, so can we do this with personal property or businesses? And could you give us some examples?
You can do personal property exchanges too. All of the time frame requirements are the same, except the like-kind requirement is much more strict. For example, livestock for the same sex for livestock of the same sex.
Wow.
Cranes, I do cranes for cranes. We've done billboards for billboards. So think of companies or operations, maybe they have heavy-duty equipment and they depreciate it to zero and they sell it. They would have to pay taxes on it, and they're just going to replace the property anyway and upgrade it, so why not do an exchange?
Now, the government, we have our government. They like to spend more, collect less. That's called the deficit. And all of these kind of, I don't know if I call them loopholes, but just smart tax strategies are all coming under attack. Have you heard anything about that? I mean, they're not going to try and shoot this one down, are they?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because I mean,
every once in a while, I think, there's some lobbyists go out and, try to say, let's get rid of the capital gains tax, or let's get rid of, the 1031, but I haven't seen any significant movement in that.
Well, mortgage interest deduction was coming under fire, but I think the ruckus got too big on that one. They said we better leave that one alone.
So if you have any questions about 1031 exchanges, you could give us a call here at the station. That number is 521-8383.
What's that number?
521-8383. And we do need to take a quick break for the news, but don't go too far. We'll be talking more with Julie about 1031 exchanges.
Yes.